This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen Gipp, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news. It's Monday, October 27th, 2025, and here are today's stories. Ozempic made weight loss look simple until side effects hit. Now experts are exploring injectable peptides as a safer, smarter alternative. Learn how these new therapies could transform metabolism without the gut-wrenching risks. Electric vehicle drivers are grappling with cable theft at charging stations, a rising crime that threatens convenience and could slow EV adoption. See how authorities and communities are responding to protect drivers. Singleton, Australia boasts the world's largest sundial, but the real intrigue lies in hidden Freemasonry symbols visible from above. Discover the mysterious history and secrets that continue to fascinate visitors and researchers alike. Red Lodge, Montana was devastated by massive flooding in 2022. The town's recovery, driven by resilience and acts of kindness, shows how communities can overcome disaster and rebuild stronger than ever. India has lost nearly 40% of its wetlands in the last 4 decades, putting water supplies, farming, and livelihoods at risk. Lake restoration projects are bringing ecosystems back to life and improving community health. And finally, discover how a simple, delicious fruit could supercharge your health, boost immunity, fight inflammation, and support overall well-being in just one bite. Ozempic made losing weight look easy until the side effects hit. Now, a wave of patients and wellness experts are asking, is there a smarter, safer way to reset metabolism without wrecking your gut? Enter injectable peptides, a new class of body-friendly molecules that could be the next frontier in weight management. GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Zepbound skyrocketed in popularity after social media crowned them miracle weight loss shots. They work by mimicking a natural hormone, GLP-1, that slows digestion and curbs appetite. For many, the pounds fell off fast, but lately, the glow is fading. Thousands of users are now reporting serious gastrointestinal issues, some so severe they've led to lawsuits against drug makers Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. Allegations range from chronic nausea and vomiting to gastroparesis, or stomach paralysis, which leaves food sitting undigested for hours or even days. Federal cases have already been consolidated into a multi-district litigation over claims these companies failed to warn patients about the risks. Other reports are raising new red flags: vision loss, thyroid tumors, and dangerous off-label compounding of GLP-1 drugs sold online. Even the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has issued warnings about fake or unapproved versions of semaglutide circulating on the market.
What's the hard truth? The truth is that GLP-1s are powerful. They do work. They are effective. But they're also ruthless. They will shut down your appetite and keep shutting it down until you're not just burning fat, you're burning your entire body. You're burning muscle, you're burning cells, you're burning hormones. If you don't pair them with a lifestyle change, proper exercise, protein-rich nutrition, and as much medical guidance as you can get, then you're not using medicine. You're just dying more slowly in a smaller body.
While GLP-1s are technically peptides, researchers are now exploring other natural and synthetic peptides that work differently and may come without the baggage. Peptides are short chains of amino acids, the same building blocks your body already uses to communicate between cells. Some regulate hormones, others control appetite, repair tissue, or boost energy metabolism. Unlike mainstream GLP-1 drugs that hijack digestion, these newer peptides aim to retrain the body's own signaling systems to help you burn fat, control cravings, and improve metabolism naturally.
So, what are peptides? Peptides are short chain amino acids. And amino acids in your body are the worker bees. They do all kinds of things from metabolism to tissue regeneration to hormone secretion and everything in between. Your body produces over 7,000 different peptides itself. And when these peptides are taken in isolation, usually injected, sometimes with a nasal spray, sometimes orally, they have some very interesting drug-like, hormone-like effects. What many people assume is that peptides, they must be safe because our body makes them, but this is a misunderstanding. There are lots of natural things that are very dangerous. Peptides have the potential to be really interesting. In fact, there are some that are life-saving, but they also have the potential to be very dangerous. It's also important to remember that about 60 different peptides are currently approved by the FDA for use. They've only been used in animals and in experimental humans, which are probably the ones that you saw online.
If you've ever done an online search for weight loss peptides, you know the results can be overwhelming. Dozens of names, stacks, dosages, and clinics, all promising miracles. Some peptides are backed by peer-reviewed research, while others exist only in small studies or online hype. For someone just starting out, it can feel impossible to know what's legitimate, safe, or effective. The best advice? Start with a healthcare provider you trust who understands peptide therapy. Ask about clinical evidence, dosing protocols, and monitoring plans. Remember, peptides work best when combined with balanced nutrition, movement, and healthy sleep. They're tools to optimize your body, not shortcuts to instant results. The shift toward peptide-based therapies is gaining real momentum. Recent data indicates nearly 12% of U.S. adults have used GLP-1 drugs for weight loss, with an additional 14% expressing interest in trying them. That's according to RAND, a global policy think tank. The shift toward peptide-based therapies marks a new chapter in weight management, one that emphasizes working with the body rather than forcing it. Electric vehicle charging stations continue to be prime targets for an unexpected kind of crime: cable theft. With the rise of EVs, the demand for charging cables has grown, making them an attractive target for thieves looking to sell the copper inside. This issue leaves drivers frustrated and raises questions about how such thefts could impact the broader adoption of electric vehicles. Charging companies say thieves are targeting charging cables for the copper inside, as copper prices have risen due to growing demand. However, these cables contain little copper, and it's hard to extract, making the financial gain surprisingly low. Some, such as the German operator EnBW, suspect hostility towards electric vehicles is another motive, as cut cables are frequently abandoned. For charging companies, replacing damaged cables is far more expensive than the value of any stolen material. This theft creates significant operational disruptions, straining budgets and maintenance schedules. Stolen cables also mean broken charging spots, leaving EV drivers stranded and causing delays. The problem is worse in high-traffic urban areas, essential for daily commutes and long-distance travel. This growing issue is impacting charging networks and EV users in many countries.
Many of the cables have been stolen from the Fatima supercharger early this morning. This is particularly upsetting in Portugal because they've just added new chargers a couple of weeks ago. They were online, needed, and we've fought for years against the Portuguese government to change the law. So now we're not fighting the Portuguese government, now we're fighting thieves, just 2 weeks after, you know, the great news. Some people will state there's not much difference between thieves and the Portuguese government when you see how high the taxes are, but I wouldn't say that. Yesterday I made a video about the cables that have been stolen from the chargers in Moita, the link's here, and yeah, the same has just happened to Fatima superchargers. It seems this week is a bad week and thieves are going around. So I don't know how bad the situation is currently in Portugal, how many cables have been stolen, but I've heard of other reports of other places where cables have been stolen. So yeah, the situation is absolutely atrocious.
Charging companies are stepping up to prevent cable theft. Measures include reinforced locks, tamper-proof designs, and using materials like copper mixed with steel to reduce resale value. Real-time monitoring, such as sensors and cameras, alerts operators to tampering. In the UK, Osprey uses cable alarms to deter thieves, while Instavolt tracks stolen cables with GPS. In the US, big names like Electrify America, ChargePoint, and Tesla are boosting security with more cameras, working with recycled centers, and using tougher cable sleeves that are harder to cut or sell. Many companies now use armored sheaths, CCTV, and physical security for added protection.
So we have the EV cable shield here, which you can see. To the naked eye, it looks like an enlarged cable with a kind of a canvas casing on it, but there's two types of hardened steel that run along the length of the cable, and we can actually peel this open and see how it works here. And so the external sleeving is just an aesthetic and to make sure that there's no exposed metals, but every 12 inches there's a stainless steel tie that compresses around the cable and kind of locks those metal strips around the cable and around the circumference, so protects the cable from any type of conventional cutting tool, and yeah, just basically makes it very, very difficult to cut and steal the cable.
These measures have seen some success, but they come at a cost. Many charging companies are already losing money as they expand their networks, and now they must also spend on securing existing sites. Cable theft is also a big deal for the environment. Making and shipping new cables uses up energy and raw materials, which means more pollution and waste. To make matters worse, the stolen copper often ends up on illegal scrap markets. This just encourages more theft and feeds an underground economy, making it even harder to stop.
Australia is home to one of the world's largest sundials, but its real intrigue lies in the Freemasonry symbols hidden within its design. From above, markings like the all-seeing eye reveal a deeper mystery. UNN Field Messenger John investigates.
Hello and welcome. This is United Network News Field Messenger John reporting from Singleton. And today I'd like to show you a large sundial behind me, which is still being falsely advertised as the largest sundial in the world. The Singleton sundial is a prominent commemorative landmark located in Singleton, which is in New South Wales, of a continent known to you as Australia. I like to call it Terra Australis, the Great Southern Land. Constructed as part of Australia's 1988 bicentennial celebrations at a cost of $450,000 at the time, which in today's money would amount to well over 1.2 million Australian dollars. Physically, the sundial is big and measures around 14.6 meters in length, or 47.9, nearly 48 feet along its base, and stands around 8 meters or 7.92, 26 foot high. The gnomon or pointer The projecting element that casts the shadow is 12 meters long, or 39.39 feet. 37 feet. The entire structure weighs around 30 ton, and it's reportedly built from stone derived from local quarries that was originally carved by good old convicts. We are told, back in the old days, performed a lot of the hard labor. The gnomon, its pointer, is aligned towards true geographic south, not magnetic south, so it's designed to be parallel with the Earth's axis of rotation in the southern hemisphere. Now, I've checked its alignment and it appears to be correctly aligned. It points towards true south. If you use the reported dimensions of the sundial and then apply some high school trigonometry, you can produce an incorrect angle. The gnomon angle then exceeds 42 degrees, which is obviously wrong. So I went out and measured the actual, and it's closer to where it should be, which is around 32.9 degrees. We're actually at 32.5 degrees latitude south. So the measured angle aligns quite closely with Singleton's geographic latitude, and that indicates that the sundial's practical alignment is accurate. It's likely, therefore, to tell you the correct time of day. If you get the angle wrong, you'll never get the right time of day. The sundial is endowed with strong symbolic significance that is obviously linked to Freemasonry. Freemasonry has a long-standing fascination with solar and lunar symbolism also, and big things, big structures like obelisks and sundials, often reflected through their large-scale constructions that are related to the sun and moon. Interestingly, a symbol of the sun is carved into the capstone of the local Masonic lodge down the road. Also, from an aerial perspective, seen from above, the ground layout beneath the sundial resembles the all-seeing eye, the eye of Providence or the eye of Ra. And these are emblematic symbols closely associated, again, with the Secret Handshake Club and their esoteric or inner circle teachings. The functional necessity or requirement for a sundial, like Singleton's, is really questionable. Instead, the sundial mainly serves as a symbolic monument representing the community's bicentennial celebrations, local heritage, but mostly the enduring influence of Freemasonry within the area and Australia at large. To me, it represents mainly the influence of the Secret Handshake Club in Australia, which appears to be all-pervasive and likely dates back to the very beginnings of Australia as a penal colony. Thank you for listening. This is UNN Field Messenger John from Singleton, Terra Australis. See you soon. Bye.
Amino acids play a vital role in maintaining your overall health and well-being. Not enough amino acids and protein daily can result in brain fog, hormone imbalances, digestive issues, cognitive function, lack of energy, lower immunity, decreased muscle strength, and much more. That's why we created our amino acid complex, packed with 21 free-form, easily digestible aminos that skip the breakdown and go straight to work energizing your mind and body. Used by athletes, vegans, and high performers. New Earth's amino acid complex helps your mind and body recover, rebuild, and renew daily. Subscribe now and optimize your life.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Wanda Michael from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Titeshwar Pagao from Manipur State, India. I'm Gumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger, report first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me. Si va a ser así, depende de mí. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
In 2022, severe flooding devastated the town of Red Lodge, Montana. UNN Field Messenger Dorothy shares how community resilience and the kindness of strangers led to its recovery and revitalization.
I'm Field Messenger Dorothy reporting for UNN from Red Lodge, Montana. This is my town today. You would never know that in 2022, this roadway and our town experienced severe flood damage. Let me tell you what happened. At 4 a.m. on June 13th, 2022, I was awakened by a neighbor pounding on my front door. The message was clear. The babbling brook across the street had breached its banks south of town, and 1/3 of Red Lodge was under siege. My neighborhood was ground zero. The flood began about 80 miles away in Yellowstone National Park, when the ice caps melted rapidly, along with spring rains causing a deluge of water cascading down the Beartooth Mountain Range. 5 towns and a large portion of the range, farmland, and livestock were washed away in a 24-hour period. It's hard to explain the devastation one feels when a natural disaster occurs, but helplessness is the main feeling I had. By the time we were told to evacuate, the floodwaters were already 3 feet deep, and I was swept away in the current. Luckily, I was pulled out at the end of the block by strangers with only a broken thumb and hypothermia. We were taken in by strangers who let us stay with them for 3 weeks while we gutted our home and worked on drying everything out. Strangers from out of town poured into Red Lodge to help in any way they could, from hauling ruined belongings to the landfill, to tearing down homes that were made unsafe for occupation, to even bringing food and water and gift cards from local businesses. We were lucky we could rebuild, but some of our neighbors weren't as fortunate. There was no money from insurance, FEMA, or the Red Cross, and we had no extra money for rebuilding. Thankfully, some friends of mine started a GoFundMe, and many former students, friends, and acquaintances donated to cover the $100,000 it took us to rebuild. When I look back on the catastrophic event, it still is painful, and the devastation still rocks the area. But bridges are being rebuilt, homes are finally being torn down, and streets are being repaved. But the reminders of the horrors still ring in my brain whenever it rains or there's spring runoff. I think I have a little PTSD. But the bottom line is, when you lose the stuff you thought was so important, the stuff you collected your whole life, a natural disaster can put everything into perspective. Stuff is just stuff, and stuff can be replaced. But the kindness of strangers is what kept us going these past couple of years. It was a blessing in disguise. Surviving this disaster truly was through Source's grace, because we not only recovered, but our town is thriving once again as a gateway to Yellowstone National Park. I'm Field Messenger Dorothy, reminding you that there's always hope and there's always tomorrow. Thanks for joining me on this journey.
India's lakes, essential for farming, drinking water, and livelihoods, have suffered greatly from neglect, pollution, and unsustainable use. In the last 40 years, studies show India has lost nearly 40% of its wetlands, with many lakes becoming toxic or drying up. Lake restoration aims to revive these crucial ecosystems, improving water quality and community health. Lakes are far more than just water bodies. They help replenish groundwater, support diverse wildlife, reduce flood risks, cool local climates, and provide income for countless communities. Recognizing these benefits, lake restoration efforts in India target several key areas. These include increasing water capacity by removing accumulated silt, preventing pollution from sewage and waste, and restoring local plant and animal life. Community involvement is central to ensuring long-term conservation, while modern technologies like geographic information systems and drones enhance the effectiveness of these initiatives. One inspiring example of successful lake restoration is Kashmir's Wular Lake. After 2 years of dredging, clearing silt, and planting aquatic and lotus seeds with the help of community support, the lake's ecosystem is bouncing back.
After 30 years, Kashmir's Vular Lake is blooming again. The pink lotus, or locally known as Nadiru, once lost under silt from 1992 floods, has returned to life. Thanks to desilting and conservation, lotuses are back, and with them, hope. Hope for food, income, and nature. Vular isn't just scenic, it's a lifeline, a home to 213 waterbird species on the Central Asian Flyway, making it a vital ecological hotspot. But Vular is just one. Across India, many rivers and wetlands like Delhi's Yamuna wetland, UP's Pili Nadi are crying for care. Where we act with love and effort, nature heals, villages thrive, birds come home, livelihoods return. Vular's story isn't just a comeback, it's a reminder. Our water bodies can rise again if we don't ignore them anymore. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, every wetland matters.
To better understand the broader trends affecting India's lakes, a new study in Environmental and Sustainability Indicators analyzed social, economic, and environmental changes influencing water bodies between 1990 and 2020, focusing on Punjab, Gujarat, Kerala, and West Bengal. The study uncovered stark contrasts. Gujarat nearly tripled its lake areas through strong community programs and water policies, while Punjab lost nearly half of its water bodies due to over-farming, groundwater depletion, and urban expansion. The study highlights solutions like better governance, community involvement, data-driven decisions, and stronger regulations. Among these solutions, the importance of community involvement stands out. When local communities are empowered and engaged, simple and effective strategies can help bring water back to dry, barren lands. A prime example of this is the inspiring work of Dr. Rajendra Singh, who empowered people to take care of their water resources.
As we've searched around the world for ways to reverse water instability, we've found that the most impactful solutions have not come from the wealthy few, but rather from people with close to nothing, whose lives depend on the health of their water and land. One of these places, rural Rajasthan, has a remarkable story. In the driest region of India, individuals and communities came together and used simple, natural methods to reverse drought and restore their watersheds. Its lessons are profound, and it stands out as a model for reviving both rivers and villages, even when resources are scarce. Though this work is the community's, it began with the courage of a single individual. Rajendra Singh is known around the world for his work restoring rivers and revitalizing watersheds. For the last 40 years, his organization Tarun Bharat Sangh has helped thousands of villages restore their local water supplies with simple earthworks and tree plantings. These simple structures, water bodies called johads, capture and infiltrate the seasonal rains, recharging the groundwater and restoring the watershed. This work has regreened thousands of kilometers of land and resurrected rivers that had gone dry.
Another inspiring example is Anand Maligavad, an engineer who decided to tackle the water scarcity crisis in Bengaluru, India. The city, once known for its many lakes, had seen most of them dry up due to low rainfall and overdevelopment. With no prior experience in lake restoration, he researched ancient irrigation methods and began work on the dried-up Kayala Sanahali Lake. He cleared out trash and waste from the lake bed, reopened its channels, and even created islands for migratory birds. Just 6 months after the next monsoon season, the lake was full of clean water again. Since that first success, Maligavad has restored 35 more lakes in Bengaluru and dozens of other water bodies across India, becoming the country's top lake restoration expert. These are just a few examples showing how one person can make a significant impact. It really proves that dedicated individuals and engaged communities can bring about incredible change for our environment.
Pomegranates are packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and gut-friendly goodness. They can help reduce inflammation and even protect against certain diseases. UNN Field Messenger Emma tells us how this superfruit can boost overall health and well-being.
Hi, my name is Emma. I'm a field messenger for United Network News, reporting from Fuerteventura, Spain in Europe. This report is about our pomegranate tree, how nutritious it is and how we use it. The pomegranate, or Punica granatum, or granada as they call it here in Spain, is a fruit-bearing shrub that grows between 5 to 10 meters, which is 16 to 33 feet tall. I think it had its origin from Africa before being introduced and exported to the other parts of the world, but I'm not sure. Our pomegranate tree produces around 30 pomegranates each year. We use the fruit and the juice in various things like baking, cooking, salads, fruit salads, juice blends, garnish, or just like a snack. We also clean some and freeze in glass jars for the winter because we can't possibly eat them all. So the nutritional benefits of pomegranates are they're very rich in vitamin C and vitamin E. They're rich in vitamin B6, B1, B2, and niacin, B3. Minerals like potassium, copper, and iron. The skin and the membrane inside the pomegranate contains tannic acid that has an anti-inflammatory effect on the mucosa in the intestinal tract. The strong red pigments in the fruit is a part of the flavonoids that are antiseptic, and they help lower inflammation. It's also a strong anti-aging antioxidant and has a slight diuretic effect. So to summarize the benefits: astringent, bitter, anti-inflammatory, antiparasitic. If you eat the bitter membranes inside, they help clean out parasites or worms. Mineralizing, alkalizing, detoxing. So pomegranates can be very beneficial for gut dysbiosis like diarrhea, gas, or cramps. It can help against uric acid like gout because it's very alkaline and it neutralizes acids. So pomegranates are rich in the compound called ellagic acid, which is known for its anti-cancer properties. The compound in pomegranates protects DNA from damage and decrease inflammatory and antioxidative stress. So in my opinion, it is best to consume the whole pomegranate, the fruit and the seeds and everything, so not just drink the juice, because it's very balanced and they're beneficial for each other. So I hope you liked the report, and thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.
Are you ready to change the world? Take the next step and join our weekly Field Messenger meetings. Learn more at unitednetwork.earth. I am United Network News, and so are you.